Hey everybody, welcome back to What Elon Said. Today is May 6th. Today we have some commentary about some SpaceX milestones. We've got items about Twitter funding, and what was the third item? I forgot now. Well, we'll jump in and get to it. So,
Those were the main ones we had there, so we'll go over those.
yeah, let's dive into
Yes,
it. All right,
that sounds
so
good.
SpaceX first got the 1 year anniversary of a successful landing by Starship prototype SN15. It's a year ago today. How time flies. And we got Michael Sheets here saying that a year ago, SpaceX both launched and landed a Starship prototype after a high altitude flight test for the first time. And then also have Ava Fox here. After a series of high altitude test flights that ended in explosions on May 5th, 2021, SN15 was set down in one piece on a Texas launch pad. It was a great day for SpaceX and all mankind. It was the first real step taken by a child that will lead us to a happy future. So, yeah, cool
Yeah,
1 year anniversary. We're celebrating
very
here.
very cool. I mean, when first of all, when that happened, it was surreal. It didn't feel like this was actually happening, and you looked at it, and then it just kept dawning on me like this thing is massive. Like it's not. I'm looking at something in the sky. It's not like a little thing. It's literally a building that they're shooting up in the sky, a skyscraper and landing. It was just unreal.
That
But
is
I
a
didn't
good
expect.
point, and is really I'm envisioning a literal building flying up in the air.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean this thing was equal in size.
Um, but it's hard to believe it's been a year. By now, I thought they would have had other tests or other launches, but there's been a lot of, I guess, blockage in FDA, not FDA, FAA approval. Understandably, it's very loud, very, very disruptive, and they want to make sure there's not as much of an environmental and a civilization impact to the locals. I've been hearing rumors that it might never launch in Boca Chica as a regular occurring launch, and they might have to move everything to Florida, which
That'd be
makes
a
sense
tough
to me
haul.
because the full infrastructure is there, but it's going to delay the program by another year, which is not great. But I think long term doesn't. I mean, I understand the prototype development and everything, Boca Chica, but all
Yeah.
the engineers and the support and the whole infrastructure is already there in Florida. Like, why
hmm
not just do it in Florida?
Yeah, it's like, is it worth the time spent on going through the bureaucratic processes for Boca Chica when they
Yeah,
could
I
just
mean,
move it over there? And I don't know. You
who,
think it's a whole year? Gosh, that's crazy.
I think it
I
might
was
be a whole
thinking,
year.
it'd take a month to move it over there, but
Yeah, but they'll get some intrepid young engineers definitely, and they have them down there. But come on, if you're a
yeah.
couple of years into your career or have a family, you're not going to want to be in Boca Chica. You want to be in the NASA area near
hmm
Jacksonville or somewhere around there. It
Yeah.
just doesn't make any sense long term for the company. I feel we'll see what happens. Um,
Well, I don't
but
think Starbase is going anywhere. I think that will
Starbase
continue
is
to
not.
be their headquarters. Yeah.
Yes, I think Starbase will definitely stay there. Whether they build a big, and it's been doing a lot in the last year, whether they build a big production facility there, I don't know. I mean,
Yeah,
probably.
I
We'll see what
saw
happens.
a short clip of the recent video with Everyday Astronaut. I think we're going to get some more info once he fully releases that
Very
interview.
eager to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But they
that's
were
the big
walking
question.
around some big warehouses basically, and it's just the size of it all is daunting.
It's daunting, and it's been a
Crazy.
year. But during this year, they've been, as Elon says, the prototype is the easy part. The
Mm-hmm.
production is the hard part. So I think they've been
Yeah.
working on how do we build 1,000 of these things over the last year.
Yeah.
So a lot of movement, but we just don't see it behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Not as cool as seeing a rocket, a skyscraper going up in the sky.
Yeah. And as you mentioned, that it's incredibly loud, and Elon's mentioned that time and time again. That's the biggest sort of. I mean, and once they're produced, it's like using them. The biggest limiting factor is just the noise associated with it. So if you're ever going to use it for Earth travel, then it's going to have to be to locations that are basically offshore.
Yeah, so I guess they'll build little kind of like their landing pods. They'll build well, actually, aren't they rejiggering a oil rig?
Oh yeah, yeah, you were right. Or we covered that a
Yeah.
while ago.
So I don't know what the plans are for that, to see if we have some homework to do here. But
Yep,
anyone
always.
listening out there, if you have details on their launch options down the line, please let us know.
Yeah. So keeping up with the SpaceX headlines, we have Elon here retweeting a NASA post saying that the deorbit burn has begun and the Crew 3 astronauts are one step closer to coming home. And this is just the descent and deorbiting of the Dragon capsule with Crew 3 on it. And then he also liked this one, which was SpaceX posting that splashdown of Dragon confirmed. Welcome back to Earth. And then lists the astronauts here and has just cool, like 20-second video of the final descent and landing in the ocean of the capsule here. So good
Uh,
news. Good. Another
Good news.
successful occurrence and landing of Dragon. I don't think that's happened all that much with people in it. Like twice.
Well, they just did one a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
What, right from the private one
Well,
up there?
yep, inspiration, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
and then prior to that, though, I think it was just the 2020 launch.
I think so. It might have been. Yes.
So
Yeah.
not too
So it's
many.
not been as
Big
much.
news. This
Yeah.
this infographic here was not liked or tweeted by Elon, but I saw it and I just thought it was really cool. If you're watching, you can pause it, you can zoom in on it, whatever you need to do. But um, yeah, it's out there. It just is a great summary of the steps involved in this capsule returning from the space station to its final destination in the ocean, and just details each one of those steps along the way. It's pretty
Very
cool.
cool. Yeah. Kind of dig into that. I love it.
Yeah. So it's a little bit wordy here, but I know you want to take this one.
So yeah, so
Don't need to
in
read it
news about
all, of course,
Starlink,
but
yeah, so Starlink is launching portability. So they're going to allow portability mode for an additional $25 a month, where you can essentially move the Starlink from anywhere you want to away from your home location. Now, both of us were a little confused about this because not being Starlink customers, we've seen Dave Lee moving it around when he's been traveling. So I thought that was already included. And also, of course, we see it in Ukraine, but I'm sure that's just free and they're giving it to them where they're running around.
mhm.
But I have seen them around many different mobile homes around the country. I don't understand how this changes, but maybe they were charged a lot more in some way for portability, and now it's just a flat fee. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Well, now it's a monthly fee, so maybe it was a flat fee initially.
Well, flat monthly fee rather than like
Yeah,
a roaming charge or something.
yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
Interesting.
hey, more homework to do there, but I'd say looking forward, this is great. This is exciting news for the mobility and connectivity of people um,
Yeah,
in the future. It's going to be
absolutely.
awesome. I mean, to do something like what Dave Lee is doing, traveling around the country in an RV and having connectivity the whole time through Starlink. I mean, what an opportunity, you know?
Yeah, and I wonder if they will become more smaller over time. I don't know, but
Yeah,
eventually you might
probably.
just have it in your car, so that way you have Starlink all the time.
Yeah. So bright future there with that.
Yeah,
Here we touch on some of the funding developments in regards to Elon's purchase of Twitter. This is Ben Horowitz, who I read just briefly partnered with Mark Andreessen. They have a venture capital fund, and this is
yes, big
the
big
funds that
one.
they're committing here. So we're joining Elon's bid for Twitter, investing 400 million. We invested because we believe in Elon and Jack's vision. He says EV, but I don't know. I'm taking that as Elon and Jack's vision to connect the world, and we believe in Elon's brilliance. While Twitter has great promise, so this is one. This third one here is one that Jack Dorsey actually mentioned or replied to. While Twitter has great promise as a public square, it suffers from a myriad of difficult issues ranging from bots to abuse to censorship. Being a public company solely reliant on an advertising business model exacerbates all of these. And then again, his vote of confidence here for Elon is one person that we know, and perhaps the only person in the world who has the courage, brilliance, and skills to fix all these and build the public square that we all hoped for and deserved. But anyway, in regards to
Yeah.
that third one, Jack Dorsey responded and said, "Yeah, Twitter needs a little bit of cover for a bit. You know, needs to be
um,
protected."
that that's right. That's right. And they're planning to bring it private and then bring it back public again once they feel it's run efficiently.
Hmm.
Which is sort of how he's approaching SpaceX also, is private funders, and then he feels it's too risky for public to be purchased in the public. But once it's more stable, they'll do Starlink and the SpaceX as public
Yeah.
companies.
Yep.
So interesting. I also heard that Larry Ellison yesterday became a big contributor to Twitter,
Yeah. $1 billion.
and they're best buddies. He was a big backer of Tesla in the first place. So that'll be interesting. And Larry Ellison, of course, was very, very good friends with Steve Jobs and was a big backer of Apple. So and he founded Oracle. So he's a big player. Good to have him on board.
Yeah, from what I saw, it looks like a short list of companies, or not companies, but individuals that Elon probably like cherry picked or like conversed with.
Yeah, his good billionaire friends, which they are good friends. But yes.
Yeah. Okay, so this tweet here is from I think his name is Walid Talai with the Saudi Kingdom. And if we remember, this dated back uh, a month ago to like early April when it was first announced that Elon was interested in buying or made the offer. And he said, "I don't believe that the proposed offer comes close to the intrinsic value of Twitter, being one of the largest and long term shareholders of Twitter, Saudi Kingdom KHC, and I reject this offer." And then Elon went on to respond to that tweet saying, "Just two questions, if I may. How much of Twitter does the kingdom own directly and indirectly? And what are the kingdom's views on journalistic freedom of speech?" As far as I know, there was no reply to that, and it was left there. So here we are a month later, and Alweed or Awalid is reposting or replying there to Elon's question, saying, "Great to connect with you, my quote new friend, Elon Musk. I believe you will be an excellent leader for Twitter to propel and maximize its great potential. Kingdom and I look forward to roll our 1.9 billion in the new Twitter and join you on this exciting journey." So that's another 2 billion into the mix of the funding. But yeah, just a change of tune, interesting change of tune from the Saudi Kingdom and their ownership of Twitter and Elon's involvement in it. It'll be
Yeah,
interesting to
it'll
hear
be
what words were exchanged.
it would that's I'm very interested because he asked a very which should be a softball question, but for this person was probably a very complicated question in terms of
The
Saudi
second one,
policies and family relations that he probably has.
yeah,
But Elon must need the money because taking money from this person with his where he comes from is again tangling him in a weird way. I think I don't know. He needs the money, but it seems
yeah,
weird that in the end he took his money. I don't know. I've also thought about this. I don't know your opinion. We don't necessarily have to state it. Of how is Elon going to deal with the double standard of he wants free speech, yet in China, where he has a lot of business, he is going to be requested not to allow free speech.
mm.
Will he just
Yeah.
not have Twitter there?
This comes back to how I think his whole mentality. I mean, I just don't think we know enough of it, but some of the things that he said, I think Um, I'm gonna dare say this, it's crazy, but I think they sound a little naive, you know, to think that it's gonna be, that simple to just open up the algorithm and, just allow anything to fly. I mean, I think social media companies have been on this road for a long time now, many years, and it has evolved to this. And I think things evolve to where they are for good reason, because that's
Yeah.
just the way it plays out, and the best solution wins over time. Maybe not always, but and he's obviously trying to push back on that and change that.
Yeah,
So
you're right. It's a tough battle. Like taken 20 years to get to this point. Will it change, or 15 years will it change?
yeah.
How much better can you make it? But maybe you will.
And
I my
also, I mean, you mentioned China, but you also have the European governments coming together and not being happy about this and trying to say that, well, that some of the controls, I'll say, that have been put in place are going to need to remain there, and we're not going to stand for that otherwise. So I don't know.
I don't
I
know
mean,
the
I do
European.
think that Elon ultimately wants um, a platform free of like hatred and all the bad things that come with it, but I just don't know that he's going to be successful in achieving that in all the ways that he wants to.
Yeah. So will he go? I mean, I think it was laid out by Mark Andreessen, not Ben Horowitz, that the three objectives, he put them in order, which was interesting, not just listing three, but I thought that the first one was the bots. Personally feel the bots takes care of, well, won't get rid of abuse, won't get rid of censorship, but I feel that getting rid of the bots will solve a lot of problems.
Mm,
That a lot of the hatred and a lot of the other issues are fake and it'll go away. Personally, I don't really know,
yeah.
but in terms of governments saying you can or cannot do this, I don't know. Maybe he'll draw the line at, like, if a government's asking it, I'll do it, or maybe he'll just say it's free. And if the government doesn't want it, they could just block it or shut it down. That's up to them. But
Hmm.
we're not telling people they can't post things.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Be interesting. A lot of
I
interesting battles
mean,
and
I it's
discussions to come.
the you know, Mark, we started this channel as we've said, not to cover this, but
Yes,
I anticipate that this is going to be not just the story of the year when we look back upon the year 2022.
yeah,
There's going to be other major headlines, of course, but I think this one will be in the top five. And
I think
I
so.
also think that it's going to be in probably the top five for like the entire decade of the 2020s. That's how I think it's going to play out.
I think you're
Um,
right.
it's
It's
not going to
not.
go
It's not
away,
going
and we will
away.
continue to have to talk about this if we're going to
Yes,
continue on the what Elon said road here.
yes. I mean, it is what Elon said. We'd prefer he said more about technology and the positive evolution, but
Hmm.
we free speech seems to be a lot of the discussion in general. So
Yeah,
we'll see how it goes.
yeah. Well, and there's a technology element to it, so
Yes,
not completely out of the Elon wheelhouse
yes.
traditionally. So yeah, just have to get more comfortable talking about it. Yeah. So
Uh,
go ahead with this
this is
one.
the famous saying. Lex Friedman posted. It's interesting. A lot of these guys have. I guess it's a way to do Twitter. They're always posting statistics and giving comments or posting a famous quote, seeing what reaction there is. But Lex Friedman, a big interviewer these days, very popular, uh, put the Arthur Schopenhauer quote: "All truth passes through three stages. First, it is ridiculed. Second, it is violently opposed. And third, it is accepted as being self-evident."
Hmm.
So, is what do you think, Kevin? Is this a comment on what? On
Um,
a particular subject, or just in general he wanted to post it?
I don't think that all of Lex Friedman's commentary is directly related to Elon. Although have noticed in about 99% of the interviews, Lex Friedman interviews that I've watched, the name Elon Musk comes up in, yeah, about 99% of
Interesting.
them. There's not many in which it doesn't come up. So,
No, Elon liked this. So
yes, he did like it. So I don't think it's specifically related to any Elon topic of the moment. Um, but I don't know. I guess we can only contemplate what he was considering when he posted this.
yes.
But I do think it's a great quote, and when you look back at the arc of history and think about all the occasions in which this was the truth, or when this occurred, it's pretty amazing. And to think that it's just not the case now, I think is yeah, being a little naive and not open minded.
Hmm.
So cool
Yeah,
quote
it's good.
either
Good
way.
quote. Something good to contemplate either way.
Yeah.
So what do we have here?
We have um, Kristen Net 10. Delivery of my new Tesla Model Y, such a beautiful red. Thanks to Elon and Tesla for a great car and a perfect red color. So just some shots there. And Kristen, of course, someone who's on the Third Row podcast. Definitely need to check that out. That long form interview with Elon. She was in
Yes.
the room there and did some of the interviewing. So, he's met her and I think was just liking the positive words.
Now, what I don't have the confidence to get a red Tesla. I wish I did, but
It's pretty
don't.
sweet looking. Yeah, I feel like, in certain parts of the world where I'm located, particularly, um, just driving a Tesla is probably gonna catch a lot of eyes. I'm not one to like really like a lot of eyes on me to stand out, but man,
Yeah,
driving a red one, like
that's it.
definitely going to. So, but cool looking car. I mean, I saw some pictures of the Model Y recently with like two bikes in the back, and I was just
Nice.
amazed by the amount of space. So,
Oh, in the car.
mhm, yeah,
They
seats
fit
folded
bikes in
down.
the car.
Yeah,
Wow, impressive.
yeah, good stuff.
Here, this is the biggest news of the day. If the 30th anniversary of Wolfenstein 3D sparks any technical nostalgia or curiosity, check out Fabi Now's Black Book for an extremely in-depth exploration.
Elon liked this. I
So,
mean, I'm sure he was a big Wolfenstein 3D
yeah, that was a
player back in the
big
day.
game back in the day.
Hmm.
So, I don't know if Elon's spending the afternoon digging into this Black Book, but interesting nonetheless.
Yeah, he liked the reference. So.
Yes.
And last up, pretty quiet day in relative terms. Liv Bory here saying, I asked Doll E to generate some art to reflect today's market behavior, and it did not disappoint. My prompt was a group of dismayed bears looking at stock market prices crashing. Digital art. And it's pretty great. Just a bunch of bears
It,
screaming, sad, looking concerned.
yes. But in many of the comments correctly pointed out that the Bears would be cheering and the Bulls would be crying.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I guess do the Bears want stocks to
Bears,
go down?
the Bears think the market is going to go down when they're bearish. If someone's bearish, so they short the market, and when the market goes down, they make a lot of money.
Yeah. I guess this is just maybe her point was that everybody is now a bear.
Everyone is now bearish.
Party is over. The little party on Wednesday is
I think
over
today
and
also
done.
everything's been blowing up, so it must be way down. I haven't looked yet, but
Mm.
definitely my phone's been ringing for everything I monitor.
I try not to look very much, but wow, as you said that, I just literally got a notification on a price point. So that cannot be
Yes.
good.
No.
So,
Interesting.
well, good luck to everybody out there.
Yes.
And that'll wrap it up for today.
On a positive note, no, that's okay.
Not quite, but hey, let's look on the bright side of life.
That's it. That's it.
My son on the way home after picking him up was saying, I wonder what the world will look like in 2030, and we're doing a lot of
Oh,
reflection. And
nice.
hey, good times,
Oh,
bad times, but I think the world
bef-
will still be around, and
I think, well,
there'll be
I
some
have
good
one
stuff.
comment for the crowd, which I thought was interesting. In our town, there was the annual book sale at the library.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
being the nerd I am, I like make sure I show up like the first day as soon as it opens. And then I'm running around. There's a lot of cool books I got, but there was one book I got for $1 hardcover
mm,
by Arthur C. Clarke, who wrote
okay,
2001 and many other great books. It came out in 1986. It was published by Omni Magazine, which was the nerdiest magazine of the day. I used to get of everything about the future.
okay,
And the title of the book was July 20th, 2019. And it was about what the whole book is
hmm,
about, what he thinks and other people think the year 2019 will be like, with pictures and everything and articles.
yeah,
So I'm looking forward to looking through that and seeing what the
yeah.
prediction of the future was. It was
That's a
supposed to
little
be
bit
the
like
fifth.
watching Back to the Future Part Two and knowing that that was all about 2015.
That's right.
So
That's right. It was supposed to be, I might have the date wrong, maybe the 28th. It was the 50th anniversary. It was supposed to be of the moon landing.
yeah.
So anyway, just thought I'd throw that about
No, well, you're
optimistic
right because
views of the future.
I mean we were talking about like what will the world look like, and I was just saying, I think it'll look pretty similar because I've now lived
Yeah.
through a few of these cycles of 8 years, and like
Yeah.
things change, but like walking around outside, things look pretty much the same.
Pretty much the same.
But I guess
Yeah.
we live our lives a little bit differently. Access to information
Yes.
is certainly better. So,
That's right. That's right.
well, maybe we'll
This
all
call would
have
not
those
happen.
portable Starlinks.
No.
Um, I don't know, in our phones or our glasses or something.
Hey, we're able to have this call every day. Couldn't
Yeah,
do this in 1986.
across the Atlantic.
So
I know.
yes.
We just take it
Yes.
for granted
Yes.
and just keep on talking.
Keep on talking. All right. Well,
Yeah.
we'll say goodbye for today.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. If you liked it, give us a like and consider subscribing. See you tomorrow.